Hi guys, welcome back to our channel.
Today we are eating Mexican food.
I got a chorizo burrito. Look how big it is. It is massive.
You definitely can't finish it.
No.
And I have an asada burrito, the steak burrito.
And then we got this to try, their asada fries.
And I also got a horchata, which is honestly just tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I think it doesn't taste like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's exactly. Alright, should we just take a bite first? Like, eat it?
Yeah,
Alright, let's try our burritos first.
bite.
I haven't had it in a really long time. Actually.
Really? I haven't either.
It's been a while.
I haven't even had their tacos in forever.
So much bread.
Yeah, I got bread.
I got tortilla.
I totally got bread more than this.
I'm almost there. You need to try the salsa.
Pour it on it.
It's so good.
Is it really spicy?
It's not that spicy, I don't think. Maybe if you eat a lot. Good.
That was good too.
We know this is like kind of like a more sensitive kind of topic, but like it's the new year and I feel like we're both we're okay to talk about something like this, you know. And I mean, so as you can see from the title, what it's like to lose a parent.
Yeah.
So back in 2014 I lost my dad, and like for me it was a sudden kind of thing. Like, he had a heart attack, right? And then so I was out of town during the time, so that was like the worst part. So I didn't even get to see him or anything like that, and it was a sudden thing. Coming back, he was just in the hospital, basically in a vegetable state. So like as time went by, you know, he couldn't survive on his own anymore, and then that's when his time was gone. So I was like, I never got to say goodbye. For me,
yeah,
like that's like the hardest thing. Like I have so many regrets for like
you still live.
Yeah,
you're
like
still thinking about
especially
it to this
like
day.
the last moment that I even talked to him and stuff. I lied and I was like, okay, I'm going out of town. I'm not even going out of town. I told him I was sleeping over at a friend's house, but
Really?
no, I was out of town and stuff like that. And like just to like visit people and everything, it was just really bad timing. But I don't know, like that's how it happened for me. And like right now, it's been 5 years, and it doesn't get easy. Like you don't forget it. I still like I remember every detail of getting the phone call, like being like driving home and like being there and seeing him. Like I remember everything so clearly and vividly. But like, you know, it happened, and you just gotta like grow from it, I guess. And that's what I'm doing. Like I think I've grown up to like be a person that my dad would be proud of, and making myself better, and like it made me definitely stronger too as a person.
So my mom passed away it will be 3 years this year in March. It was 2017 when she passed away. My story is a little different. I got to spend time with my mom for a little bit longer, and she had cancer. And I think the hardest part about that was like her being sick. I guess having to go through those years where she was sick.
Like
and
watch her?
Yes, watch my mom go through this and how she was changing and everything. It was really hard. It was tough. And there were moments where I just couldn't be around the house because it was just like seeing her hurt a lot. Because I mean, you see your mom and she was all healthy, and then 1 minute it's like she's not, and it's like you're trying your best to be okay and make sure, like, you know, like everything's gonna be fine. I feel like in those couple of years I had with her, I always had to tell myself like it's going to be okay, nothing's gonna happen, everything's fine. And I mean, it was hard, and there were a lot of good moments. Like I was glad I was able to spend time with her, of course. But it's just like it changes a lot of your perspective on life, especially when you see a loved one that's sick and you have to watch them you know.
And there's nothing you could do.
Yeah,
I think that's like the worst part.
And I still remember the day we found out she was sick and what was wrong and what was happening. I just felt like everything was just crumbling and it was falling, and it was just like, you tell yourself like, I can't believe this is happening to me. I didn't think it would be possible. You hear all about these, like why you always ask yourself, can't believe it. You're shocked, and it's just crazy.
It's a lot of in denial.
Yes, a lot. And my family took it really hard because we're really close with each other, and I felt like I have siblings. I have an older sister and a younger brother, and we all cope differently when it comes to our feelings. And I think in this time period, what came out of it was that I feel like I have a stronger bond with my siblings now. But I wish, of course, my mom was still here. And there are times where I do wish that. Like, do you ever?
Yeah, every day. Yeah. Every day. Like, there's literally not a day where you don't think about them. They're always in the back of your head, no matter what you're doing. You wake up, you see this. Like, a lot of important things coming up in our lives right now that, you know, we've worked so hard for, that our parents wanted to be there. And, like, you know, they're not going to be there. And I'm the only daughter of a bunch of brothers, and so like my mom always like cared for my brothers more and stuff like that. She always babied them more and stuff. And like, I mean, like, she took care of me and she babied me too. Yes. But like, me and my dad had like,
you had that special relationship.
Like, I was definitely a daddy's girl my whole life, and like, it was always just me and him, like always joking, play fighting, you know, like it was always just us two, you know. And, like, there are days like, you know, like he wasn't like the best adult figure because, you know, he makes mistakes and everything, and everyone makes mistakes. But like, you know, that doesn't change how like of a father he is to me, you know. He was always there when I needed him to be there, even if like there were moments when like he didn't like show up to like certain things that I wanted him to show up, but like
he was still there for like the times when you really, really needed him.
He gave me that emotional support that I needed too, you know?
Yeah.
And he was just always really protective of me, and like we just had that really special bond. So like losing that was so heartbreaking for me. Like it like broke me.
Yeah.
But like what can you do? Because like
you just had to adjust.
Yeah. And being the only daughter, like I feel like I had like the responsibility to like be there for my mom too, you know, because like she just lost her husband, and like I feel like I just have to like even though she lost my dad and stuff, like I shouldn't be picking up the pieces like that, but then like she doesn't really have anyone else to depend on, you know,
and to talk to.
Yeah, so
because I mean, she's not going to talk to your brothers about things like that.
So like, I mean, I'm thankful because like now me and my mom, like we have a special relationship. Like we didn't talk like we used to talk now. Like we didn't like, even though we argue a lot, she is a pain in the butt, but I love her so much. And I've seen how strong she is from this too, because I know it's not easy, especially what she had to go through and everything. The saddest part about being in the hospital, like when he was like in a vegetable state, like you're watching him die, you know?
Yeah.
And then like my mom, like she just did not want to leave his side. Like she had to like leave eventually and stuff like that, but like she always made sure someone was next to him. And I remember clearly, like, before, like, he took his last breath, like, we all went home first, because, like, we're like, okay, like, we heard it was going to be the day, and, like, all my family and stuff, we're going in and out of the hospital and stuff like that, you know? And then, like, so, like, everyone was, like, saying, hurry up and come back, because it's about to be time. And, like, I remember that, like, he was basically, like, everyone was saying that he was waiting for me and my mom to come to, like, see us, like, for his last breath. Because, like, as soon as we came into the room, that's when, like, he, like, passed. And, like, it was, like, he was fighting. Though they're in a vegetable state, like, they said, like, he's probably brain dead, you know? But then, like, I remember when the guy I was dating during the time, he was trying to talk to my dad, was like, you know, I'll take care of her and everything like that. And, like, my dad's body just started, like, he looked like he was getting angry.
Really?
Like, who's this guy talking to me like this? You know, like, I was like, holy crap. That's like, so I really think, like, he's there, listening. But, like, you know, like, there's no, like...
movement. Like,
Yeah, like you know, like he's not coming back, but you know he's still there somehow.
like his like spirit.
Mhm.
Kind
So,
of thing.
like-
yeah, I don't feel like you're never ready
Yeah.
to lose someone. That's probably one of the ones. It's like you try to prepare yourself for it.
But you'll never be prepared.
No, you don't. It's
you know?
just
Yeah.
it's just really, it's like a very hard, sudden thing. And I feel like the thing that hurt the beginning of it, like when your, you know, a loved one passes away, is like, I guess, the reality of it, the harsh reality of like having to pick up the pieces after they're gone, which was really hard because I was angry. You know, I feel like that's, you know, the first emotion you have. You're angry, you're sad, you're like, and I think the things that I had in my head was like, you know, this is unfair, and like you see all these parents, you see all your friends have all these parents, and like you're just like why me, you know, and like why did this happen? And it's like, and then you look at everyone else, you're like, they're all moving on, and nothing, you know, everything's fine for them, and I'm like, I sit here and I'm like, of course life doesn't stop just because
You lost someone.
or that you're sad or you're angry. Like, life goes on. So I had to like literally tell myself, like, you know, I have to move on. Life is like moving on with it, and I mean, we're all sad, but I just
This is what they want for you, though.
yeah, like I just really had to pick myself up. Of course, I had my siblings, I had my boyfriend, I had my dad and stuff, but it's like I said, we all coped in our different ways, and it was really hard. Like, I really could not talk about my mom without crying. Like, anything I heard about her or anything people would say to me, it was just hard because I just couldn't. I couldn't tell certain people that don't really know me, like, oh yeah, my mom passed away, without crying. And that was really hard, having to say like, oh, it's just me and my dad, and like, especially when people ask, oh, where's your mom, you know, and I'm like, that's when it hurt the most. It's like, it's just my dad, you know. That's what was hard, was that too.
Saying it out loud.
Yes, saying it out.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Saying it out loud.
Saying it out loud is
because
just,
yes,
it's like, it makes you realize, like, holy crap,
Mm-hmm.
this is real. Like, they're not coming home. Because, like, my dad used to go on fishing trips, right?
Yeah.
Long trips. So he'll be gone. So I always saw it as he's just going on a really long fishing trip. But then, you know, he ain't coming back. But that's how I see it. Like, but then, like, you gotta realize,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta really take in the reality and just, like, they're not coming back. But it doesn't mean, like, you shouldn't, like, move on or do anything. Like, you shouldn't be sad about it all the time, but it is okay to be sad. Like, to this day, like, I would randomly go to the cemetery just to see him,
Really?
like, just cry, you know, and just to talk to him for a bit. It's just, that's how, like, like,
cope.
yeah, cope. I would, like, if I would feel really, really sad, I just go see him because I have that
Yeah.
opportunity, like, I have that chance to see him, you know, because he's here in town. So I'm thankful for that, like, but, like, still, it's not the same because
It really isn't.
because it's not like you're physically talking to him and stuff.
Yeah, having to face that reality that they're not coming back, and it's like you think in your head, like, I just feel like she's at the store or she's at work, you know, and she's gonna come home and everything's gonna be fine, but it wasn't. And it's like walking into a house and like remembering, you know, where she sat or where she cooked or where she slept, you know, what she was doing, all those things. It's like a memory now, and that's what was hard. It's just like everything's a memory. It's not something physical I could see anymore. And I just wish I could like record all of it. Like, I wish life, like, you could just record everything, you know, and you can just replay it back, of course. It's almost been 3 years. I just sometimes I'll sit down, or like I'm doing, like, I could be driving, let's say that I could be driving, and then I'll listen to a song, and then I get thoughts into my head, like I'm just driving, and like I'm literally just listening to a song, and then I could think about my mom and be like, damn, you know,
I would
like,
cry in the car.
yes,
sometimes.
I would cry. I would cry. I would like just automatically start crying
When
in the
you
car
hear
because,
a song,
yes, or like, no, not even that. It's more like I'd be like thinking like,
Mhm.
oh, Emma's like my nieces are growing up, and it's like, it's sad because she doesn't get to see them grow up anymore, and she doesn't And then I'll start thinking, like, when I have kids, that's what's hard. It's like, when I have kids, she's not there. She doesn't know who they are, and they don't know who she is unless I tell them. But of course, she will never get to meet them. And that's when I start crying. Cause then I start thinking about all those things, and it makes it. And then I'm like, this fucking sucks. And then I go, and then I'll drive to, like, my boyfriend's house and be like, he would be like, why are you crying? I was like, and I'll just be like, my mom. And then he like, he knows, yeah, like, he understands. He already knows. He's like, and then he understands. He knows the most of the time when I'm, like, randomly crying, it's probably about my mom. And he, like, completely understands. And he lets me, and he talks to me about it. And that's just, and, like, sometimes me and my sister will talk about her and stuff. And, like, my oldest niece was able to spend time with her. And she still remembers her. Like, she'll remember how she looks like. And I think that's what's, like, awesome about it. And it's like just watching her, and it's like my mom loved her to death. And I think that's, like, the best part. It's like she was that special gift that came out of it too. You know, like, I think she was the one who kind of brought light into my dad and everyone else. So yeah,
she came in, like, at a really important
she
time,
did, and
so
she really did. That's why I feel like she's very important in our lives. And
same for my nephew, like, because like my dad got to spend time with him when he was literally newborn, you know. So he didn't get to, like, spend as much time with him, so my nephew doesn't remember him at all. But, like, my dad, that was his first grandkid, and, like, he loved him so much.